First thing first, I want to say, oh my goodness, what a year this has been. I'm really sorry that I haven't been more regular with my uploads. That is totally on me. But this year has been completely and totally crazy. I just haven't had the time to be able to sit down and edit the videos, since I do record and edit all my videos myself. But yeah, just a little update on me. I have been focusing mainly on school. I recently just graduated from university. That's really exciting. And now I'm still, focusing more on my personal life, getting a head start on what I want to do as a career and everything. So yeah, I've just been focusing mainly on me. I haven't really had the time to be able to edit everything, since it just takes a lot of time to edit my videos. So yeah, I did record this way back in 2022, I think in December of 2022, and I did edit it, but it just has been such a long and slow process that I just haven't had the time to dedicate to it fully. But here I am. I finally have uploaded this video. I finally edited it. I feel so proud of myself. And yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little update as to why I haven't been as active. Because I do want to give out quality videos, at least the quality that I'm happy to give out to you guys. So that's just a little update on me, and I hope you enjoy the video. You know this video is going to be really serious because I have a mini microphone. Hello and welcome to my video. This is going to be me explaining how to enter video calls and fan signs. About 3 months ago, I uploaded a video of my last video call with Sun, and I told everybody in the comments, I was like, hey, I'm going to be making a video on how to enter video calls and fan signs. Let me know what questions you have and whether or not this is a topic that you would be interested in, which I already knew this was a topic a lot of people were interested in, but I thought I would ask anyways. And a lot of people were like, yeah, please make one. So I'm gonna be making one. Here it is. So I've had my fair share of video calls and fan signs, so I think I have enough knowledge on the topic. I'm not super knowledgeable about it because the amount of stores that I've applied for and stuff is very limited, but I have done my research here and there, and I've tried to gather as much information as I possibly can. So I tried my best, but I say try and further out your reach by looking further into the stores that I don't really know much about, because most of my knowledge will come from ATEEZ fan signs and video calls, because those are the ones that I've applied the most for. Although I did do one DK1 through K-Town for You, but that was 2 years ago, and things change over 2 years. So I say do research if it's for a different group, or if it's through a store I didn't mention here, because some of the stores here I've never applied for. I've only have seen them announce video calls, and I've never touched their sites. But yeah, this is going to be my video on how to enter video calls and fan signs, a guide by me, Jadaliz. I'm going to be talking about the steps, and I have literally a guide right here. It's literally a guide by me. It is notes. I wrote notes for this, and I don't even write notes for classes. So this is really serious, because I got notes. I'm gonna be looking down the whole time at my notes. So if you see me looking down at any point in the video where I decide not to put a visual in it, it's because I'm looking at my notes. So this is step numero uno. This is step number one. This is the most important thing here, because this is gonna be how you're gonna find out whether or not there is a fan sign to apply for. I'm going to be talking about video calls and fan signs in this video. The process to apply for either one is the exact same way, but I'm just gonna be referring to them as a fan sign, because that's what a video call is. It's just a virtual fan sign, so I'm just gonna call it a fan sign. So how to enter a fan sign, this is gonna be how you're gonna find out about a fan sign. Step number one, most important, get a Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter, just make one. Just make one just so you could get notified about it. You don't even have to use it. This is going to be how you're going to find out whether or not the artist that you want to apply for a fan sign for is hosting. So I say download a Twitter, create an account if you don't have one already. Follow the artist, obviously, follow the artist that you like, and then follow the stores that host the fan signs. So I do have a list of various stores that I know of that host fan signs. The stores are going to be K-Town for You, Everline, Yes24, Wonderwall, Interpark, Weverse, and this Weverse depends on the group that you want. So I know like under the Hybe label there's like 17 and like TXT and stuff. I don't know if TXT does Fansigns, but I know 17 does, and they do it through Weverse. So we have that going on there. Soundwave, Apple Music. I do not know if My Music Taste still does Fansigns. I know they did in the past. I don't know anymore. And then I put Hello 82 on here. Just because I know they've been doing like in-person fansigns here in America. They have hosted for a few different groups. They've done like AB6, NMIX, ATEEZ, and they've even done for P1 Harmony. That's a good chunk of groups if you ask me. So I put them on this list because I feel like they have an honorary mention of fansigns that they've hosted. So it only happens when the like group is like on tour or there's like a reason that they're here in America. So if you know that they're going on tour, I say like watch out for like Hello 82 potentially hosting something with them. Like maybe you'll see something happen. So yeah, just look out for what if they're coming here in the US. I also put here that groups will sometimes announce that they're doing a fan sign via their fan cafe. Although I don't use the fan cafe, I have no idea. The fan cafe literally looks like hieroglyphics to me. It looks so confusing. I don't understand it. I don't use the fan cafe, although I've heard that sometimes they will announce fan signs on the fan cafe through their like notice, event notice tab or whatever. Don't know how to get there, don't know how to use it, don't ask me. But they do it. Also, I put a note here, pay particular attention when there is a comeback, because guess what? They're going to want to promote the new album during their comeback, and what better way to promote it than through their social media, and they usually do that through Twitter. They do not, for some odd reason, I don't know why they don't promote fan signs and stuff on Instagram. So you're out of luck there if you think you can find it on Instagram. They never announce it. They always do it through Twitter. They'll just retweet the tweet of the store and be like, hey, look, we're doing a fan sign. You should buy from this store right here as they're announcing it. So yeah, pay particular attention when there's a comeback. That's when they're probably going to promote the most. So great. You made a Twitter. You found out your favorite artist is doing a fan sign. Awesome. So what's the next step? I put step 2 is that once it's announced, go to the website, click on the link, and make sure you read the rules carefully and closely. It'll tell you very important things, such as how long you have to buy the items. Also read what they're selling, because sometimes it's not albums. Sometimes it's like actual like merch items, like products. Sometimes it'll be like shirts, or it'll be like beauty. I've seen them do collabs with like Myrnal, which is like a beauty brand, and you could buy like powder and stuff like that. So make sure you're like looking into what they're actually selling, and it'll tell you whether or not it'll be through KakaoTalk or Line or WeChat, although some like just accept all three, others only just accept KakaoTalk. So you just gotta read and make sure you understand, I guess you could say, the terms and conditions. Another very, very, very important note that I put on here, check to see whether or not the store will require, for foreigners, if you aren't from Korea, whether or not they will require a passport or just any government issued ID. When I applied for the DK fan sign, they only accepted a passport as like the form of identification. So make sure that you understand, like if you don't have a passport, don't apply for the store that requires a passport. Not all stores will require a passport, but like some will, and then for foreigners, and then others will just accept a driver's license. That's what I've been using for my son video calls. I've just been using my driver's license and they accept it. So make sure you read that. That was an important note, because if you don't got your form of identification, they will not let you do the video call. Just as a heads up. So make sure you understand which form of identification they will allow. So great, you read the rules, you want to enter. So how do you enter it? There are different ways to enter for a like video call. I have like 3 different ways that I put on here, and you're like, ways? What do you mean ways? Hold on, Buckaroo. I'm going to explain it. So way number 1 is just to outright just buy the albums that you want. So let's say you're like, I want to buy like 10 albums, and then you just outright buy it. You just buy it. You just go there, put your information, because it will ask you for your information. Make sure you you're putting in the information correctly, and then you just purchase it. You just buy it. You put like your card and info or whatever, and you just buy it. The second way that I put is to host a group order and have people like, I guess, order through you. So if you don't know what a group order is meant to save like the joiners money, whether it's on like shipping, especially on EMS. Oh my god, the amount of money that it is EMS shipping, it's insane. I don't understand it. I mean, I do understand, but it's expensive. So group orders are meant to lower the cost of shipping stuff, and sometimes they get discounts depending on how generous the group order manager feels when they're hosting. So sometimes they'll discount items to a certain price, especially for Fansigns. You will see a lot of major discounts, but you can host a group order, and this way people will buy through you the items that the store is selling. What I've realized and have seen is, in order to incentivize people to buy from that particular store, stores will release a pre-order benefit card. It'll be like a little special unreleased card, and people who are collectors are going to be like, oh my god, I gotta buy it. Myself included, I do that too. I'm like, oh, I have to buy it. And so they will either host a group order or they'll join a group order for the particular member card that they want to buy. So if you are ever interested in trying to host a group order, you can always try and do it that way. If you don't have any proofs of trading and or selling, it'll be incredibly difficult to host a group order. I wouldn't recommend going that route. However, if you've already established yourself as a pretty good seller and a pretty good trader, I say if you want to try and host a small group order as your first time, I say go for it. I say you should try. It doesn't really hurt. I say set an amount in mind of how much you're willing to spend on your own, and just see if people will help cover with that cost, if that makes sense. That's a different method. It'll help save you money, I guess, although you'll still have to spend money. It's not like, oh my god, I don't have to spend it. No, you still have to pay. Like, group order managers still pay a lot of money. So just, that's another way. And way number 3 I put on here, not a lot of people know about this way. I put it on here because I think I've seen quite a few group order managers do this, and it is to join a group order yourself that raffles off a video call. There are plenty of group order managers that I've seen that have done this. They raffle off the call. It literally means that if you order through them, like the joiners themselves get put in a little raffle, and then they'll pick a joiner from that raffle that get all the entries, and or they split the entries between 2 joiners. It depends, but for the most part they'll pick one and all the entries go to that one joiner, which is fantastic because you don't have to buy as many albums to get in. And so many people have gotten their first ever video calls through video call raffles. On the note of group order raffles, I do want to announce that I have been holding raffles on my group order account. So if you wanted to follow me on my selling Instagram and or on my Twitter, you guys are more than welcome to do it, because I have been holding video call raffles. My friend and I, who I've been hosting with, have successfully got 5 ATEEZ in to different fan calls since we started hosting during this recent comeback, which is amazing. We are super proud of ourselves. And when I first recorded this video, I haven't started yet. So this is how long this video was like recorded. It was so long ago that I didn't even host video call raffles at the time, but I knew I wanted to. And since I have now started hosting video call raffles, I thought I would just announce it, you know? If you guys are into ATEEZ and ever want to do a video call with them and you want to join a raffle, do consider following me on my Instagram and Twitter, because that's where I announce that I will be doing raffles. So it has been a very successful like go around of hosting group orders, and my friend and I definitely want to host more in the future. But I thought I would just plug that in there. That way you guys do know that I have been hosting raffles, which is one of the things that I've been doing. I guess in the meantime, instead of recording videos, has been hosting group orders on the side. So yeah, consider following me, and hopefully if you guys are ever interested in joining a raffle, you guys know the person to go to. So yeah, thought I would just plug that in there. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money, I say do a raffle for it. And I don't think I've ever seen a fan sign raffle, like an in-person fan sign. I've only ever seen video call raffles. Or at least it's not as common as the video calls. So I say join a raffle if you are able to do that. So especially if you don't feel the need to spend a lot of money. But this is going to go into like my fourth point. So the number one question I probably get asked, besides like how do you enter for this, is how many albums do you buy? And or how many like entries if you're not buying albums. Let's say you're buying a product. So how many should I buy? And I'm going to disclose this right now. There is not a set number. And I know this seems like a terrible answer and you're probably going to be like upset about it, but I'm being genuine and 100% honest. There is no correct set answer, and it's because the amount varies greatly depending on what store you're buying from, what group you're applying for, if you're applying for a member call, a group call, what time within the comeback period it is. There's so many different factors that can literally affect how many is like quote unquote required in order to have a good chance. And there is no number, like magic number. I'm gonna tell you right now, it ranges, and now I'm gonna explain why it ranges in just a second. But it literally, like, I have gotten in with as little as 20 for San, and San, in case you know San from ATEEZ, he's like one of the more popular members. He's one of the harder members to get into for a video call. So like getting in with 20 is a pretty good, like that's pretty lucky if you ask me. But I've also bought like over like 80 and have not gotten in. So it's like, you're just like, oh my God, how can you get in with 20 but not 80? And I'm like, that's the beauty of fan signs. They're never guaranteed. You could buy a lot and not get in. It really is like random to a certain extent, and I'll go further into that in a little bit, but I want you to keep in mind the thing about fan signs is that not all of them are based on 100% luck, and this depends greatly on the store, which is why I emphasize that the number varies and it depends on what store you're buying from, like group and whatnot. There's so many factors that play into account that a lot of people don't realize, which is why it's really hard to give a definitive number. You can give like a range, but it's really, really hard to say specifically how much you would need. But keep in mind, like some stores, not all stores are created equal in the ways that they pick their winners. That's just something to keep in mind. Essentially, it boils down to which store is hosting, and does this store only reward those that buy the most, or do they actually do random draw? So the stores that I know that I have seen that do random draw are Everline and Wonderwall. Those are the two that I have seen that have do it. I have done an Everline call, and that's the one where I got in with 20. But I don't know about other stores. I haven't applied to very many stores. Hello 82 does random chance for sure. I've seen that. But I do know the one that everyone talks about to avoid, because this one is literally only for top spenders. It is MakeStar. If you are not planning on spending a lot of money, do not apply for MakeStar. It is literally not worth it. It's literally not. Because MakeStar will almost always give top spots to the top spenders. They really don't care about, they don't do random draw. They say they do, they don't. I'm sorry, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm hoping you save money and not spend through MakeStar, unless if you want to spend a lot of money, because if you're willing to spend a lot of money on MakeStar, you're practically guaranteed to do it. Although that is also very finicky. So there are a few factors that really like influence how many entries you would need, and I kind of briefly mentioned them, but I'm just going to elaborate them even further. The first thing is, how long is the buying period? The longer the buying period, the harder it is to get in. Don't apply for a long buying period, because I personally don't think it's worth it. Most of the time, the ones that usually get in are going to be the big group order managers that usually always get into the fan signs, unfortunately. So I say wait till there's a shorter buying period, when within the comeback period. Do not buy during the pre-order period. Don't buy at the pre-order period, and do not buy at the beginning of the comeback. Those are the hardest to get into, because everybody and their mothers are buying albums. So another point I made is it in conjunction with an in-person fan sign? Meaning, is the store that you want to buy from, are they also doing an in-person fan sign and a video call? Because if so, that also increases your chances. Because they're split, people have to pick and choose which one they want to do, especially the Korean fans. They're gonna most likely want to apply for the in-person fan sign, so they're gonna put most of their money towards that. and then that'll leave open spots for the video call. So make sure you check to see, like, sometimes some stores will do both. Like, they'll be like, oh my god, there is an in-person fan sign and there's also a video call event. Yeah, usually if it's both at the same time, you'll have better chances. So that's important as well. I also put a point of try to avoid stores that have like another incentive besides the pre-order benefit photo cards to buy. So for example, some stores will have like a special event along with the video call. So for example, I have a perfect example right here. This one right here is one of my fan signs with sign, but it was like a special fan sign. It had like a special incentive, and literally it was like, he'll write you a special message in the album if you order through us. And of course, like, people are gonna be like, oh my god, he can write me a special message? Of course I want it. So more people are gonna want to buy for it, obviously. I mean, I personally didn't know when I first applied for this, like, that it was like, it's something to try to avoid if you want to not spend as much money. I literally went all out and bought a lot, but that's besides the point. But yeah, in order to win like special events like these, you have to spend a lot of money because people are going to want the special incentive, like, oh my god. Or they announce that they're doing a longer video call, so the winners of the special event can have like a 5-minute call instead of the regular 3 minutes. Or, oh my god, you get a special signed Polaroid. That's another one. They like to do Polaroids, at least for this is all off of my experience with ATEEZ, but they'll do special event things like that. So try to avoid that because people are going to buy more because they want the special event. I mean, like, obviously, so I would want the special event too. And then the last point I made on how to increase your chances, choose which store you buy from wisely. And I put like an important note at the bottom, like, not all stores are equal in the way that they choose their winners. Other stores, like I said, I don't know much about them. I do know that American-based stores like Hello 82, that one is 100% luck-based. Like, you just get in with luck. Literally, somebody I know got in with four albums for a fan sign. So that one is luck-based. Someone else I know got in with 5. And if possible, use a Korean address. This will help you save money on shipping, and like they will like store it for you, and then you could like bundle it with all other orders that you make and then ship it all at once, and this will help save you money on shipping. And or you can have them open up, if they're albums, you can have them open up the album, save the photo card, and discard of the albums. So they do that. There are some sites that I have seen people have recommended, and I personally have used Corgo. That's the one that I have used thus far, but I've seen sites like K Friday and Deliver to Korea. Those are 2 other sites that I've seen people have recommended. And then there are some like independent warehouses, meaning that there are people who individually will like store albums. They are going to be like small businesses. I've seen them on Instagram and some on Twitter. They're floating around, but make sure you do your research before you go ahead and go in guns a-blazing and be like, can you store my stuff for me? Like, calm down. Like, make sure you do your research, okay? That you understand who they are, whether or not they're reliable and stuff. So yeah, that's my piece of advice for that. So, but I do recommend using a Korean address if possible. So yeah, those are like the 4 like major steps. So 1, download Twitter, find out when they're hosting a fan sign. You find out it's announced. Great. Go to the website, read how long the buying period is, what they're selling, whether or not what kind of identification you need. Number 3, buy the albums, whether it be you buy it outright, you host a group order, or you decide to join a raffle for it. That's the 3rd step. And then number 4 kind of ties into number 3, which is like, how much should I buy? This is like a subcategory that I put on here, but essentially, how many should I buy? That is literally up to you to decide. So now we are on the segment of the video in which I was like, hey, ask me questions and I'll answer the questions. So here I am, answering questions. A lot of the comments were just about my cat being really cute and how he looked cute in a tuxedo. He's a dapper gentleman. I love my cat. Let me see. Okay. Are the calls with just one member that you pick? And if so, do some members get less calls? So for the most part, for video calls, I think most of them nowadays are, yes, they're going to be individual member video calls. So yeah, that they do, most of them will be choosing your own member. Do they get less video calls? No, because they will fill the spots. So it ranges on how many people they choose. Some, like I said, go as high as 30 per member. And I have been in ones where they have less than like there's 10. So like it really depends and ranges. And how long was this fan call? Because the one I've seen from Stray Kids be like 1 minute or less. Like, what can you talk about in less than a minute? So for the ATEEZ video calls, they are on average like 3 minutes. They're like 3.5 minutes. Those are the ones that I've been in. Sometimes if the staff is feeling super generous, you can get 4. But for the most part, they advertise it as 3.5 minutes, and that's usually how long you'll have with them. The one that I did with BK, though, that one was only 1.5 minutes. So I have had experiences with both. I've had my short little 1.5 minute calls, and then I've also had my 3 minute whatever calls as well. But what can you talk about? You could literally talk about anything. For the DK one, that one is shorter, but I essentially asked him what his favorite song on the album was. And then he told me, he was like, it's Gachigayo. And I was like, oh my God, that's my favorite too. Can you sing it for me? And then he sang it. And then I told him, my favorite song is My Mai. I showed him like a drawing that I had behind me of My Mai, of like the little Airstream. And he was like, can you sing for me? And I was like, me sing for you? And he's like, yes. And I was like, ooh. And then I sang, and then by that time, once I finished mumbling out the last few final words, the time was over. So that one was really short, but I did hear him sing, and it was lovely. It was beautiful. I still remember, I still got a memory of that. But yes, for the shorter ones, you don't have a whole lot of time, but you do have enough time to at least have like a short, sweet, concise conversation. I do prefer the longer video calls, the ones that are like over 3 minutes, because you have more to say. But like any topic, you could talk about anything. You could talk about if it's during like a comeback period, what their favorite song on the comeback is, what their favorite song to perform is. You could show them stuff. Literally, I guess like one of my most favorite recent things to do is show my art to San. Like literally, San has seen so much of my art. The last video call that I did with him was me doing my art, like my art show. It was like a show and tell, and I showed him all of my art that I have recently made, and he really liked it. You could show art. You can make them do poses. You could play a game. I've seen people do like rock paper scissors, and then who loser has to do like Igyo or something like that. I don't know. But you could do literally anything. So it's up to you. I say, like, if you have trouble coming up with something, look at other people's video calls and have inspiration from them. But yeah, this has been my talk, my beautiful, beautiful TED talk on how to apply for Fansigns. I hope that this has been incredibly informative and that you found value in what I've been talking about, because that's literally, I made this video because I want to help people achieve like their first video call and or fan sign if they're feeling lost and they don't know at all about the process, because I do know when I first started it was incredibly confusing, but the more you start to research and like see other people talk about it, the more it'll make sense, and then like you'll understand better what to do, what to avoid, what stores to go for, which one is better suited for you. So yeah, this has been this video. Me and my little tiny mic are done for the night, so I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And when will I upload this video? I don't know. I'm gonna be working on it though, so I hope you have a good one. Bye bye.